Howdy, Winnie-O from the Old People's Complaint Desk. And today, or right now, I'd like to talk about attitude. What kind of attitude does it take to be a septuagenarian? What kind of attitude should a septuagenarian have? Right? How many presidential administrations have you been through? How many crises in the world? How many of kids you've been around? How many of, you name it, how many? 70 years is a long time and a lot of stuff. It's almost a century, and you witnessed it. You witnessed every part of it, and you know that every part of it touched you. So you got to have an attitude to be here. To get up out of bed and to go walk around and do things, to maintain your property, your house, to sit there and deal with people, to deal with a couple of grandkids for a weekend. Geez, you got to have an attitude. What kind of attitude do you need? Well, let's think about that for a minute. I saw an attitude that you might definitely want to have, and you know where I found this attitude? I found it in a fiction novel. James Clavell wrote the book Shogun, as well as other books. It's a fictional novel about a Dutch guy who goes to Japan for some reason or another and ends up being a shogun. And it has a heroine, protagonist, all that stuff. It's a great novel. I enjoyed it. And in that novel, there is a passage that just bang, nails the attitude that we need to have as septuagenarians. And I'm going to read you that attitude because I got it right here in front of me. I can't remember it. My memory is not that good, so I'm going to read it. Now, this is where the female protagonist, or one of the main characters, is talking to the Dutch guy who's going to be a shogun. And I don't remember what the circumstances were, but, all right, ready? Now sleep. Karma is karma. Be thou of Zen. Remember, in tranquility, that the absolute, the Tao, is within thee. That no priest, or cult, or dogma, or book, or saying, or teacher, or teaching stands between you and it. Know that good and evil are irrelevant. You and I, irrelevant. Inside and outside, irrelevant, as are life and death. Enter into the sphere where there is no fear of death, nor hope of an afterlife, where thou art free of the impediments of life or the needs of salvation. Thou art thyself the Tao. Be thou now a rock against which the waves of life rush in vain. The Shogun. And that is the statement from James Clavell in regards to attitude, and it just so happens to be a septuagenarian attitude that gets you through. I like the part about, thou art free of the impediments of life or the needs of salvation. There is no fear of death nor hope of afterlife. Sounds a little bit like what a combat soldier thinks when he's in combat. And that thought is to forget about it. Don't worry about it. Consider yourself dead. And if you get out of it alive, you're in a good shape. And then you don't worry about getting wounded or getting shot because you're dead. You're not getting out of it alive. And we're not getting out of this life alive. And after 70 years, we've witnessed so much that what do? Do you steel yourself to society? Do you get punched every time something goes on that interferes with old age? What do? You get an attitude. You don't get a victim attitude. You get one of the Zen, Tao. The Tao, the absolute, is within you. And you go there and you find it in tranquility. And how do you get tranquility? You sit someplace and you relax and you let yourself daydream. If you want to do a thing called meditate, then go into meditation. But find the tranquility. And in the tranquility, examine your life. And as you examine your life and you recall, don't get hooked up about impediments or being saved, because it's just you, tranquility, and the absolute. So again, sleep, karma is karma. Be thou of Zen. Remember, in tranquility, that the absolute, the Tao, is within thee, that no priest or cult or dogma or book or saying or teaching or teacher stands between thou and it. Know that good and evil are irrelevant. I and thou are irrelevant. Inside and outside, irrelevant as are life and death. Enter into the sphere where there is no fear of death, nor hope of an afterlife, where thou art free of the impediments of life or the needs for salvation. Thou art thyself, the Tao. Be thou now a rock against which the waves of life rush in vain. That's a septuagenarian attitude, if ever I read one. And it's in a book about a shogun, a samurai. Okay. Go ahead and hit like, please, and subscribe. Very important for you to subscribe. I have a website that is jetting up. I have a Facebook page for media, and I'm going into a little bit full swing with this stuff. So, have a great week. Have a great septuagenarian. Have a great 70s. Yeah. And don't forget, right? Get your attitude on. I'll see you.